In the heart of the African savanna, where the sun beats down mercilessly and life thrives in a delicate balance, an unsettling scene unfolds. A white lion, a rare and magnificent creature, bears a horrific wound, a gaping, festering hive of bees nestled into its side. As you gaze upon this haunting image, it presents a stark contrast to the idealized vision of unblemished beauty that nature often portrays. Here lies a creature that embodies majesty and terror, a living testament to the brutal realities of the wild, reminding us that beauty and horror often coexist in an intricate dance. Imagine the moment when this regal beast first encountered those uninvited guests. Perhaps it was lounging in a patch of tall grass, its golden mane shimmering in the sunlight, blissfully unaware of the trouble brewing just a few feet away. The bees, attracted by the scent of sweet nectar, descended upon the unsuspecting lion, drawn not only to the landscape but to the animal's fur, which trapped their pheromones and scents. It began innocently enough, some curious bees buzzing in circles, until they transformed from mere nuisances to a furious swarm, driven by instinct to defend their hive at all costs. The lion, startled and confused, experienced the excruciating pain of multiple stings, each one injecting their venom into its sensitive flesh, igniting a reaction that no living being should endure. As the lion fights instinctively, swiping its massive paws, the bees retaliate, driven by an innate response to protect their queen and their home. What began as a skirmish becomes a grotesque scene of battle. This once majestic predator is now a tortured figure, struggling beneath the weight of nature's fury. What is left is not just a wound but an infestation, a hive encased within the thick fur, pulsating as the tiny creatures go about their frantic business inside the lion's body. This brutal irony is the crux of the situation. The very system that sustains life becomes an instrument of suffering. Bee stings, while often underestimated in their severity, can lead to horrific consequences when delivered in such numbers. The lion's body, both an exquisite machine of power and elegance, now has to contend with an overwhelming influx of venom, a potent cocktail that causes swelling, pain, and a gradual breakdown of tissue. The hive continues to grow, feeding not just on the lion's flesh but on its vitality, a parasitic relationship that hints at nature's darker side. As the bees feast, and in the dark, cold depths of the ocean, where the sun's rays rarely penetrate, a tragic tale unfolds, a tale of beauty turned grotesque. Meet the mighty humpback whale, a creature so majestic that it earns our admiration and respect. As it glides through the azure waves, its immense size seems to command the ocean. But beneath this glorious exterior lies a horror, a nightmarish barnacle wound festering on its flank, where countless barnacles have made a grisly home. This gruesome sight, enough to make even the hardest among us recoil, begs a haunting question: how could such a magnificent being fall victim to such a vile parasite? The barnacle, in its seemingly innocuous state, begins as a mere egg adrift in the ocean's currents. But in time, it matures into a crustaceous creature, seeking a permanent foothold. Oceans teem with these tiny squatters, and a whale provides the perfect surface for barnacle colonization. This unsettling symbiosis begins without warning. As a whale swims through nutrient-rich waters, microscopic larvae latch themselves onto its skin, cementing their fate and the whale's misfortune. Within days, hundreds of barnacles anchor themselves, forming a horrific, armored colony upon the whale's flesh. With their hard, calcareous shells resembling grotesque clusters of insectoid growths, barnacles can cause severe physical damage. As they thrive, they dig deeper into the whale's skin, leading to painful lesions that can become infected and inflamed. The once seamless skin, a protective barrier against the elements, is now a battlefield. The thick crust of barnacles becomes an alien organism, encroaching on the whale's life and sabotaging its very essence in an unrelenting and ghastly manner. The sight could make even the bravest sailors turn pale, for this is not merely infestation. It is a gruesome battle of survival, a grim reminder of nature's indifference. Now, let's delve into the cycle of infestation itself. Surprisingly, barnacles possess a remarkable reproductive prowess. A single barnacle can produce thousands of eggs, perpetuating a cycle of despair for the whales unfortunate enough to bear the burden of these relentless pests. As the barnacle population swells, the whale becomes both vessel and victim, a living testament to the dark humor found in nature's design. However, this partnership isn't without its downsides. The energy it takes for the whale to swim with such burdens can lead to exhaustion, poor health, and ultimately a slow demise. And yet, as we linger on this dark tale, we must ponder, is it merely the barnacle that is to blame, or do we need to look at ourselves? As humans, we have altered marine environments, overfished our oceans, and disrupted the delicate balance of ecosystems. In our relentless quest for expansion, we have not only pushed certain species to the brink, but inadvertently accelerated barnacle populations by providing more substrates, sunken ships, plastic waste, and other debris, creating havens for these crustaceans to thrive. The infestation we see on our gentle giants is but a reflection of our own actions, and the dark depths of human impact contrast sharp. In the stillness of a twilight evening, a strikingly beautiful white horse stands in the dim light, its silvery mane flowing like a river of moonlight. Yet, as the camera draws closer, the illusion of beauty shatters. On its flank lies a grotesque sight, a barnacle wound that disturbs the serene image of this majestic creature. It is a gruesome sight, the barnacles clinging like grotesque jewelry to the horse's skin. These marine crustaceans, normally residents of rocky shores, have taken up an improbable residence on the unsuspecting equine. The barnacle infestation thrives in stark contrast to the horse's graceful exterior, revealing a dark tale of nature's uncanny ways. Barnacles, known scientifically as the order Cirripedia, are not your average hitchhikers. They are the ultimate Klingons, fixating themselves onto surfaces with an unyielding grip. In this case, the horse, perhaps after a fateful encounter with contaminated water or debris left over from a coastal romp, has unwittingly become a host. Over time, these barnacles, which can be likened to the monstrous cousins of the seas, multiply and grow, embedding themselves deeper into the horse's flesh, causing a horrifying wound that festers and oozes. The sight is revolting, a colony of living organisms housed in a firm but fragile exoskeleton, creating a battle of survival between the horse's flesh and the relentless invaders. And as we delve deeper into this tale, we find that barnacle larvae are remarkably insidious. They settle on surfaces and begin their metamorphosis, growing into calcified structures that can weigh down their host considerably. For our unlucky horse, this infestation not only invites pain and suffering, but also raises questions about nature's fine balance. What once may have been an innocuous event leads to a living nightmare, an intrusion so repulsive yet fascinating in its brutality. It's a stark reminder of how nature, while creating beauty, can also manifest horror. But beyond the visceral imagery, and in the stillness of a sun-drenched pasture, a horse stands, its beauty marred by a grotesque sight that could make even the most stalwart animal lover's stomach churn. Imagine this noble creature, once a symbol of grace and freedom, now the unwilling host of a nightmarish hive thriving on its very flesh. The open wound where the hive has taken residence is a quagmire of inflamed tissue and writhing insects, a vivid reminder of the darker side of nature's equilibrium. As the camera zooms in, the delicate architecture of honeycomb, formed not by human hands but by a colony of bees acting on pure instinct, is revealed, distinct, and horrifically out of place. The surrounding area pulses with a sinister energy, the air thick with the hum of the bees, a sound that is both mesmerizing and deeply unsettling. This unsettling event is not just the product of a freak accident. It offers a glimpse into the complex relationships between species, the often harsh realities of nature, and the unintended consequences of a host animal's neglect. The bees have found a perfect breeding ground, nesting in the horse's wound, consuming its protein-rich tissues to create the substance they need to nurture their young. The open flesh of the horse then becomes a grotesque incubator, an all-you-can-eat buffet for these industrious insects. The sight is appalling, yet instinctively fascinating, a brutal illustration of nature's relentless cycle of life and survival. As we delve deeper, we uncover the individual roles of these bees. With their impressive organization and relentless work ethic, they exhibit behaviors that are awe-inspiring yet horrifying given the context. Each bee, with its tiny venomous stinger and an insatiable need to protect the queen, contributes to the hive's proliferation, a hive that thrives as it devours the very essence of its host. For the horse, a once magnificent creature of earth, the situation grows perilous. What began as a simple injury becomes a helpless struggle, as inflammation spreads through local tissues and systemic infections threaten to take hold. The once vibrant coat is dulled by the sticky residue of honey and bile, creating in the stark, frozen expanse of the Arctic, where the piercing winds howl like sorrowful spirits, one majestic creature roams, a polar bear, the colossal embodiment of strength and grace in an unforgiving landscape. But today, our gaze drifts away from the contrasts of beauty and raw power. It is drawn to an unsettling sight that even the bravest among us might find repulsive. Picture a polar bear, once proud and regal, now burdened with a grotesque affliction that sends shivers down your spine. This particular bear, one of nature's most magnificent hunters, showcases a horrific wound, a festering mass of barnacles clinging to its flesh like desperate leeches sucking the vitality right out of its body. As we watch, the bear lumbers across the ice, its movements labored and pained, each step a testament to survival in a world that feels increasingly hostile. Barnacles, those seemingly innocuous crustaceans often associated with sunny beaches and piers, become twisted manifestations of nature's darker side when they invade the intimate domain of the polar bear. These small, yet tenacious marine animals thrive in the cold, saline waters of the Arctic, much like unwanted guests making themselves at home. They attach themselves not just to the physical body of the bear, but to the very essence of its struggles. Perhaps what makes this invasion particularly grotesque is the way these barnacles feed not only off the bear's body, but also off its very survival. Each barnacle penetrates the bear's skin, leaving open wounds, breeding grounds for infection, and an unwelcome menagerie of bacteria. As they multiply, their shells form an impenetrable fortress, further exacerbating the damage done to the bear's once pristine coat. Let us delve further into this horror. A barnacle can reproduce at an astonishing rate, fertilizing